I wasn't so prepared
All
for this show.
right, and we're live. Welcome back to another episode of The Couch Show on Sibling Rivalry. I'm Lynn.
I'm Ray, and I'm so not prepared for this show.
We're not prepared at all. We're just gonna chat.
I was like 10 minutes ago, I was still taking a shower. I was like, man, I guess I gotta get up and do the show, huh? Well,
So
the topic you
weren't really
gave.
feeling it. You weren't even like getting into like the mindset of like going on.
Nah, it was just like, like how you have those days where it's just like slow to start.
Mm-hmm.
That's how today is. Today is just a slow start day.
All right.
And then I was like, you gave the topic, and I was like, wait a minute. I feel like we talked about that already.
Yeah, I think we have. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. I think we talked about it twice
We
already.
were gonna chat about relationships and staying too long in relationships, but you're right. We have spoken about that before.
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so.
I guess like that's what's on my mind because I'm definitely in like the breaking up part of my relationship.
The what?
So like the half of the relationship where you're just breaking up, that's the half I'm in. So
Oh, yeah. Like you're just as long as together as you are breaking up?
yeah.
Oh. Are you like in the mid of the breakup? Because that's the weird part.
You know what? It is weird. It's like, hey, why are we still doing this? But like, you know what? One of us, like, our heart is in it. The other one's, like, already halfway out. Like, it's an awkward phase.
For anybody who doesn't know, this is my theory when it comes to relationships. So, let's say you were together with somebody for 5 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Half that time you were breaking up. So, like, 2.5 of the years, it was great. It was wonderful. It was awesome. And then somewhere it's like, and about the halfway point, right? The other half, the other 2.5 years, you're just going through the motions, like trying to break up. And then you're finally like, you know what? Enough is enough, right? Mm-hmm. So I think you're somewhere in like year 3 or 4. Is that what you're telling me? You're somewhere at 3, 4?
I definitely am. I'm definitely on
yeah,
like the tail end of it, where it's like neither of us want to rip the Band-Aid off, but we probably both have the idea that we should. Like, what do we do?
Just rip it off.
Like,
Say, listen. This is what I told my buddy over the weekend, because my buddy, he had the same thing, right? Where he was talking to this girl, and things kind of went sour. Mm-hmm. She started coming with the lame excuses, like, oh, I gotta work late and all that. Wink, wink, you know what she was doing. And so I just told him, I was like, look, at this point, just stop trying to get into relationships. Just be like, yo, let's make some memories. Because that's how people are nowadays. Like, no, people are not really into long-term relationships like back in the day, right? Like, oh, I've been with this person for 20, 30 years. People are not like that no more. They're just like, yo, thanks for the memories. That's it. I told another friend of mine, because he was like, yo, they were like, don't take advice from Ray. Don't take advice from Ray. You want to go find somebody who's been married for like 40 years. That's who you want to get advice from. And I'm like, do you know that times have changed? Like, you got to admit that. We're living in different times from like 40 years ago when they got married.
Long-term relationships are, like, for me at least, have been like 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5 years?
Yeah, 3 to 5 years, making memories.
Yeah. That makes sense. And that's why I think we need to revamp the whole marriage thing. And I think it shouldn't be like, what's the form you get when you get married? Your marriage certificate or whatever, right?
Yeah.
No, it should just be like a marriage agreement. And then every 5 years you re-up the agreement. So then it's like, it gives you, some kind of incentive. Like, hey, do we want to keep doing this? Or, we're out. It's like a lease. It's like marriage is a 5-year lease. And it's like, yo, we want to keep doing this? Yeah, okay. New terms. All right, here it is. Nah, I kind of want out. All right, cool. You're out. It's like, I don't know. That's what I feel like. And then like the divorce system is just so one-sided, right? It's like, at some point, let's just, I don't know, change it up. People are not built like that no more. It's our society, man. We lost our values.
We definitely have. Like, we are moving away from, like, marriage and staying together,
Mm-hmm.
unity and all that. But, shit, I had a really good idea and I lost it.
Was it that good then? Was it that good?
But, it's easy to say that, but what happens when you have children involved?
Then they got to be agreements for that, too. I mean, it's better to have an agreement up front, right? Because, like, let's say, like, a surrogate mother, right? Mm-hmm. Like, if I want another child, I go see a surrogate, I go pay her, whatever. We have the agreements. And I know that she's not going to come haunt me later on down the road. Mm-hmm. Whereas right now, the way things are, it's like, hey, there's a kid is born into this world, and both parents are running to the courts to say, me, dibs, me. Like, we gotta fix that up too, right? Like, I don't know, like, so have agreements. Let's have the agreements up front.
It's like a prenup to children.
Yeah. No, just agreements for everything. Like, just the same way you get into a contract with your lawn care, right? And he's like, all right, you're going to be in a 6 month contract or whatever. I'm going to come twice a week, whatever. And there's stipulations so you can get out of it. That's how we need to do with everything else. It's like, look, we already put the court system into our home, right? Families, marriages. We introduced the court system. So why not leverage the court system so that people who are involved, right? Husband and wife, mother and father, right? If they're involved, they're not getting shafted like they're getting shafted now. Because honestly, look at all the money that's going to pay lawyers' fees.
Yeah, it's expensive.
With divorce and custody cases.
Yeah, it's expensive.
And it's tit for tat. I want this. No, I want this. I want this. And everybody's bitter. Everybody's angry. So why not do it when in the early phase, right? When everybody smiles and be like, oh, is that what you want? Sure, okay. And then write down an agreement. Right? Instead of fighting, no, I want this. I want the dog. I want his. Yeah, I heard once this lady, she was like, I want his golf clubs because he spent more time golfing than spending time with me. And so she really fought. He spent like $100K in the divorce, like $100,000 because she just wanted those damn golf clubs.
What?
And he was like, this is ridiculous. She doesn't want these. What does she want with these? And they kept fighting over some damn golf clubs. I was like, my God, you could have just bought new ones.
You definitely could have. That's how people are, though. They get, we get attached. We get attached to things. And it's hard to let go.
It's not even that. I think it's the whole heightened emotion. So it's like, think about it. Like at one point, you really felt like you loved this person, right? Like you felt you loved this person. This person was your world. You was ready to do everything. And then it's like, I don't know if it's betrayal.
Hey, fun.
Or if it was, I don't know what it is, but it's just your emotions go 180. So it's like, it was to a point of like, hey, I love you, I'll do anything for you. To the point of like, die, vindication, I want you to do it. It's like, what, like those kind of emotions. I don't get it. It's like, how do people do that? Because to me, honestly, like every person that I ever said, I love you, I still love them to this day. I may not be with them. I love them from afar. You know, when I think about them, I'm like, hey, I wish you the best. You know, I hope they find happiness, even if it's not with me, right? That's the way I am. I could never be like so vindictive or be like, oh, you know, I want this. And I see it all the time through divorce cases. Like I see it all the time. People are just like, ah! Like, then did you really ever love each other? Why'd you stay together? Why'd you waste all that time?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's very true. Like people get real nasty with each other.
They do.
When it comes to
parents too. And I'm like, how's that the best outcome for the kids?
Right.
When they see bickering and fighting all the time.
It's not. It's not a healthy relationship at all.
Right. And then they wonder why there's like this vicious cycle where the kids coming up, they get older and they go through the same motions. Right? They go through the same motions and it's why? Because that's what they saw when they were growing up, right? They saw you guys bickering in court. Right? Like I saw it all the time. My dad would only come around because his child support went up. And so he would come out, he would drive up from the city upstate, right? He wasn't coming around to see me. He was just coming up so he could argue with my mom. I remember it all the time. You remember that when you were little? Like he would just come around just to argue about why his child support was going. Yeah. And I'm like, you know, so that vicious cycle could have kept going with me. But I was like, look, you know what? Let's just figure things out. So I'm glad. Look, my relationship, my marriage didn't work out, but I'm glad that we can co-parent.
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing. Like I see you going through your struggle.
Co-parenting. Like it blows my mind that you guys, you know, are able to do as much as you do.
Get the courts out of it. Like I don't want the courts. Like the courts is nobody's favor. And it's funny that people run to the courts thinking that the courts is gonna have your back and all that. And the whole system is like built like that. It's like, why do you think marriages don't work?
You know what? Going to court has a bad rep. But, like, for me, like, I'm going to court because I'm looking for growth. I'm seeking growth. It's something that I've been trying to do, you know, without the court, and it just hasn't happened. You know, our son's 8 years old, and we're going through, it's the same battle. Same battle it has been for the past 8 years. And, you know, while I know, like, going into court, like, the court's not on my side. It's not on his side, you know, like, neither of us are going to win at this point. But at what point do you say enough is enough? You know,
And
like
unfortunately,
some people, in some situations, you have to get the court involved because you don't have two adults parenting. You have, you know, maybe one adult parenting with a child, or you have just like two children trying to bring up another kid, you know? Babies having babies.
yeah. But unfortunately, like the courts should be used as a last resort. It shouldn't be the starting of the conversation. Mm-hmm. It's like, you guys made this child. You guys decided to get married. Like, let's have an open conversation. Let's be adults. And that's the sad part of society right now. It's like a lot of people are running around here thinking that they're adults, but it's really children energy. Mm-hmm. Women have it, men have it. It's crazy how they all got this like little kid energy running around.
Yeah.
And you see it more with like these extremes, you know, be it on the left or the right. It's like all these guys, all these people, they just want to be heard. Mm-hmm. They don't care what they're saying. They just want to be heard. And sometimes that happens when you drag, you know, families into court, right? Yeah. Like somebody wants to feel like they're the dominant one. And it's like, no, really, ultimately, when you go to family court, the dominant one should be the kid, right? It's the best interest of the kid. And the parents don't realize that they're fighting for their self-interest instead of the interest of the kid.
Exactly. No, I 100% agree with you. I 100% agree with you. You know, like people go to court and it's just they put on their gloves and they jump in the ring and they're ready to, you know, go for the other party's throat, and they're not really worried about, you know, the kid, which is the whole point that you're in court to begin with, which is why children get their own attorney. You know,
well, that's not in every state. That's I think that's New York that's doing that. And then New York, actually, really? As much as I rag on New York does that whole attorney for the kid. Mm-hmm. And they're very hard on mothers. Mm-hmm. Whereas most states in the rest of the states, like they favor the mother. And it's like, it takes so much evidence on the father's side to just come to the middle. Mm-hmm. Like the default when it comes to, you know, hey, you know, figuring out custody, it should be 50-50. Right? It should be 50-50 when it comes to legal custody as well as, you know, where the child's going to live, right?
But you can't say that because, again, it's not like you have two, you know, mature adults coming to the table trying to figure things out. So it's the best interest in the child. And if the best interest in the child is going to be one parent
once again, this
other,
goes back to my statement that most people are not mature.
They're not.
So the fact of the matter is, it's like,
so you can't do a 50-50 split with a child when that child isn't going to have the same experience in both households.
Yes, but most of the time when it should be 50-50, 50-50 should be the middle grounds, right? Mother, father, middle grounds. But most of the time it defaults to the mother's side. 9 times out of 10, it defaults to the mother's side. And then they make the father a weekend warrior. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you know, that to me, that's just ludicrous. Like the court system should just come to be who's the better parent. Mm-hmm. So going with your argument as far as who's more mature, that's what the court should be saying, like who's the better parent. Mm-hmm. And it shouldn't matter about the sex of either parent. It should be like, you know, who's the better parent.
Right.
But there's this what I want to say, there's this concept that is like, oh, mothers are more nurturing. Mm-hmm. I'm like, maybe back like 20, not even 20, maybe 50 years ago. But nowadays, you know, a lot of people, I gotta say it, you know, the modern age person is very selfish.
Yes.
And the courts has to see that, be like, okay, which one is a little more selfless and is the better parent for the kid? Mm-hmm. Maybe that should be the dominant one until the other one is ready to step up. Like you said, maturity.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know, man. So you're in the breakup.
Sure
Take the time to break up.
Oh my god, I'm so ready to rip this band.
You ain't getting any younger.
And you know what I also notice about myself is like I jump into a new relationship so quickly, and so like I'm kind of at the point where like, well, what's the point of breaking up if I'm just gonna jump into a relationship with another idiot? You know, like I'm just so tired of the dating scene. Like, oh my god.
Welcome to my domain. But everybody asks me, why are you single? I'm like, because I don't need it. Yo, you don't need it. You are loved. Love to yourself. That's the most love. Listen, that's the most, especially for a guy. It's the cheapest option, right? You ain't dishing out all this money for somebody to freaking walk out on you, right? Mm-hmm. It's the most time efficient because you're spending time with your best friend. me. It's like, take a moment of yourself. Like, you really got to love yourself. And I feel like people who keep jumping in and out of relationships, that's all it is. It's like, you're just trying to find that perfect person that doesn't exist.
Right.
The more you love yourself, the less you need of somebody else, the more you're willing to, take somebody in who's not perfect, right?
I think that's all caca. I think we naturally, desire that connection. We want to, be able to just be ourselves and trust someone. We want that. We want that relationship. And I don't think it has anything to do with, loving yourself or not. I think the quality of the relationship is determined by how much you love yourself, because when you see those red flags, you'll love yourself enough to leave. And if you don't have that self-love, that is when you get kind of like caught up with like somebody who's just not right for you. But regardless of how much you love yourself, there's still that innate desire to connect with someone, to have like kind of a partner in crime in life.
Nah. Nah. You're like a partner in crime. Like, no, that's good. I'll do my crime solo. Get away with it. Keep all the profits.
I think that's just like the shell. Like, those are those walls that we build because of, pain and the things that we go through. But ultimately, we do want that connection. We do want, just as human beings, we crave that, to have people around us. And having a significant other, it's a big deal.
So what you're talking about is what I've always said, that we are yin and yang, right? Mm-hmm. What you crave and what you feel like, oh, it's loneliness, or what you're missing, or what you need inside is that masculine energy, right? That's what you're seeking, is that masculine energy. And unfortunately, men don't know how to bring that. And unfortunately, women don't know how to acknowledge that. The same way in the other sense. It's like, me, if I was to crave, if I sit and I think about it, I'm like, all right, what do I miss? I do miss that feminine energy. I do. But am I willing to tolerate with the bullshit that comes attached to it? Because in this day and age, women do not know how to act feminine. I hate to say it. They don't. They want to act like men with this strong and independent, mantra that they keep saying over and over and over. So the second you, right, as a man, I say something that they don't, they don't like, they're like, oh, I'm strong and independent. I can walk out. I can do whatever I want. I'm going to go do me. And once again, people are going back and forth with this whole like selfish mentality. Try to find somebody who's going to give in to you and put you first.
Right.
It's not going to happen. People are selfish. So
you see, but it's not even. Oh man.
Good luck if you want to get back on the dating scene. Good luck.
I don't want to get back on the dating scene. That is not what I'm looking for.
Good luck.
Dating sucks. I've tried Tinder. I've tried Seeking. I've tried like so many different sites, like apps and stuff, and like it all sucks everywhere. But I still have like hope. I still have like that sense of like, oh,
yes,
they're
buddy,
out there.
You can have that. I honestly, I'm gonna keep touting this, but I do believe in your scenario, you need to find an older man. You do. You need to go older. Stop going for men your age. You need to go older. That's it. I hate to say it, but I've always said that.
It's funny because, like, I've always dated men older than me, and that hasn't helped. That's not the secret ticket. Here's the thing: you dated men that were older than you, but still acted like they didn't accept their age. You know what I'm saying? Like, you literally, the first guy you were dating lied to you about his age. Yeah.
That tells you where his mentality is at, right? He wasn't mature for his age. He didn't embrace his age. He didn't say, hey, I'm an older man. He didn't dress the part. He wasn't congruent with who he was. He was still trying to live his glory years, right? That tells you right there and then that's a little boy energy. That's a man. That's not a man. That's a little boy, pretending to be a man. He didn't go through his journeys. He didn't go through life saying, hey, this is who I am. You understand? It's like he's still portraying, he's still holding that facade. And it's more, not even the facade to get you, that's more the facade for himself. Because he doesn't want to accept that he's getting older. And that he has to mature. So it's like you gotta weed that out. These kids, and look, if you're dating a man who acts like younger than you, I don't know. If you're not ready for that, because you're a much older soul, you know that. You're a much older soul.
Oh, the immaturity kills me. Like, oh my god.
Hey, but it goes both ways. It goes both ways.
I still want to find a significant other.
Like, for fellas out here, like, the hardest part is trying to get a woman away from her phone. Good luck on that. Good luck on that. Imagine you going out trying to, like, once again, there's a lot of guys, I mean, it's not me, but there's a lot of guys out here who are dishing, like, some deep money for dates, right? First date, they're dishing $100 and more. Trying to impress her. The whole time, she's just on her phone. Or the second she's not on her phone, she's taking a photo so she can post that on Instagram. Thirst traps. And they're like, yo, you spending this kind of dough. This is crazy. Like, that's why I'm like, I'm done. If I was to go on a date, I'm gonna be a cheap bastard. I'm taking her for ice cream. Let's go get ice cream. Let's meet for coffee. Let me get to know you first.
That's actually a good idea, though, for weeding people out. Like, if you are going to
I'm not going to be a free meal.
Like, go for something easy, something quick.
I'm not going to be a free meal.
You don't have to wait for the entree to come out. You don't have to wait for the dessert to come out. You don't have to wait for, like, all those different steps. You know?
Yeah. Just like, yo, coffee. I got you. What do you want? Coffee. Actually, I was told I should go on Seeking because this one guy, he was like, yo, these shorties, you go on Seeking and like you could take a Chipotle and be like, yo, go ahead and get some guac. And they'd be like, you the money bags because you went and got the guac. Got that guac. That's a t-shirt. I got that guac.
Man, the guac's like an extra $4. That's bold.
Yeah. So you go on the first date and you splurge on the guac. Yo, you got these little college kids look, oh my God, he got the guac. I don't know. I just think maybe you just need to spend some time alone. Because you've been like in like the one relationship, the next relationship, like you never had any time,
like
any
back
breaks.
to back, just
Yeah. Who
like
does anything back to back to back and doesn't get time?
As soon as I'm single and like I put myself out there, like I put that energy out there, like I'm like willing like to be open to attention, like somebody just comes right in and it's just like, oh, this person's awesome.
I'm good. I had the good girl for a long-term relationship. I was too bad for her. Mm-hmm. I had the bad girl. I was too much of a nice guy for her. I'm like, nah, I'm ready. I'm ready to just be me right now. That's it. Good luck, because the dating scene is a nightmare. Hey, but you know what?
That's not what I'm saying. I don't want to jump into another relationship. I'm just ready to get out of this relationship. I feel like we're dragging it on. I guess cat's out of the bag. I'm the one who's over it. He's the one still like holding on. I feel like we're dragging it out for too long. Like my feelings have changed, and like it is what it is.
So I rip it off like a Band-Aid. All you're doing is wasting your time. You're wasting your time, and you're wasting his time.
I feel bad. I feel bad. Honestly, this relationship has been weird. That's the word I'm gonna give it. Weird.
But
it has been very. I feel almost like I've just. I feel at times like I'm just using him. You know,
you don't want to be like that.
It sucks. And you know what? I don't like who it's turning me into because.
Then don't be like that. Yeah, listen. We already spoke earlier in the conversation, right? It doesn't pay to be materialistic. Like being materialistic is just empty, false rewards, right? Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. I love stuff. I have stuff, but to keep chasing after stuff, that's all it is. It's just stuff, right? It doesn't matter. So it's you got to start chasing after what makes you feel fulfilled, purpose, right? Stand on your own 2 feet, right? So I don't know. You got to listen. We're talking about people being immature. Now it's time for you to be mature and say, look, this ain't going nowhere. I got to get out. It's like embrace the suck. Well, some people don't want to do that. Well, it's just all the fun stuff. I just want to do all the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Instant gratification.
I just want to do the fun stuff.
Instant gratification. I want to do this. I want to do that. They don't want to put in the work.
Oh, my internet connection is unstable. We're having technical
I see that. We're black. Yeah. We stopped on YouTube.
Oh no.
We're stopping on YouTube. What are you doing?
Let's see what's going on here. Connection looks good. Womp womp.
Don't wipe your hands on your shirt. That's what napkins are for. What's wrong with you, boy? Jeez.
So I guess on Thursday I'm gonna have to come on and be like, "Hey guys, I ripped off the Band-Aid."
Gotta do it. You gotta do it because it's just silly that you're wasting time right now. All because you're like, oh, I don't want negative feelings. I don't want him to be mad at me. Oh, I don't want to feel this sadness of having to tell him no. I don't want to date him no more. That's your inner little girl voice. No. I don't want to do that. No. It's funny because when Ma does that, you're like, Ma, big girl voice. What are you doing? So it's like right now, Lane, what are you doing? Big girl voice. What are you doing? Come on. Your voice and video is Gucci. All right, perfect. Thank you, Fuzz. Thank you for letting us know. We're having technical difficulties. Linda didn't pay her internet bill.
I know. It's like gonna cut us off.
I think Lynn might be on a ObamaNet. Right? Don't they have that now? Like first they had the Obama phone, now they have ObamaNet? Or is it BidenNet?
Oh man, I'm getting distracted. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Your internet connection sucks.
My internet sucks, yes.
Hmm.
No, I don't have. Oh, got it. No, I don't have BidenNet. No, I upgraded my internet a few months ago.
This is an upgrade?
This is an upgraded internet.
This is upgraded? Oh my goodness. Now you know which one I want?
This is like top of the line in my class right now.
I actually pre-ordered it. I'm waiting for my, come on, Elon, what's up with it? My Starlink.
Neighbors see my little sticker in the window and they're like, oh, they got the good shit over there.
Oh shit.
Evidently
you gotta have the other sticker that says you were protected.
Difficulties.
Yeah, no, I'm waiting for my Starlink. Elon's dropping the ball. He's too busy memeing on Twitter and he forgot about my Starlink. Like, where's my order? I heard that Starlink is dope though. Like, you could take it with you and like, I could be like, when I go camping, and I can just put it back out there and boom, I got internet right there.
That's what's up.
High speed, because it's satellite. So it's like a little dish and it goes, and then it like finds the satellite and boom, you got your internet.
No, seriously, you're gonna have a little dish?
Yeah, it goes right outside. Taxes. Too many people sitting in the cart, not enough horses pulling the cart. Yeah, that's right. That's the same thing. That's the same thing at work too. A lot of chiefs and not enough in. Oh, I can't say that no more. Yeah, a lot of chiefs, not enough workers. Yeah. You can't say certain things. I forget these things.
Which is crazy. It's so
listen, I'm not even trying to be insulting. I just like you just, the things you say, that's how you used to saying it. And you're like, oh shit, I can't say that no more. The times, man. You gotta give it the times.
Which is crazy because I feel like that's not even that, I don't know, because I'm not Indian, but I feel like that's not hurtful. Like, relax. Relax.
Somebody's gonna find it hurtful and offensive. But you know what? They say it's hurtful and offensive just to be heard. Once again, I think all this stuff, all these causes and all these movements, it to me, it just feels like it just has a little kid energy out of it.
Yeah.
Like, hear me, hear me, hear me. That's it. Even going back to, what's going on with Roe versus Wade and BLM and all this stuff, I feel like No, man, I'm a kid of the 90s. In the 90s, we had TV shows that was mixed cast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm watching TV and it's the reverse. Like I was watching an episode of Atlanta the other day, right? Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong, I like Atlanta, right? I like David Glover. He's really good. And Childish Gambino. I like him when, he was dope. I liked him back when he was on Community, right? He was great. Great actor, great, writer, great everything. But I'm watching this and I'm like, man, if the roles were reversed on this show, they would be screaming how racist this show is. Mm-hmm. But it's okay to be racist to white people. And I'm like, that to me, no, that's a double standard. And if you're going to come up, your cause is to have a double standard, that's childish. That's childish.
Which is crazy because, like, I've been programmed in my mind, you can't be racist toward white people. Like, that's not even
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Racism is evil. It's being evil towards a certain person. Mm-hmm. If you're being evil to people, it doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter if they're straight, you're being evil. It doesn't matter if they're white, you're being evil. It's like, it mind boggles. I got to explain that. Because people are like, black people can't be racist. Minorities can't be racist. Yes, they can. I've seen it. Yeah, I lived it. And not only can they be racist, they're racist with their own kind. Yeah. Like that's
where my mind went. When you're like, black people can't be racist. Yeah, they can.
Yeah, there's racism between your own kind. Yeah. It's like, I'm frowned upon in the Puerto Rican community because I don't speak Spanish. Mm-hmm. But yet I'm Puerto Rican. And yet you want me to fight for
Spanish, and like my Spanish isn't good enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Or I've seen where, like here you go, you got a black guy, and it was, Atlanta, they did it in Atlanta too, but they did it really humorous, right? This one guy, he was like, yeah, I'm black, and the guy was like, wait, you're not black, and you're like, because he's not dark enough, right? Mm-hmm. You've seen that before, or even the really dark guys, they're like ragged on because they're too dark. I'm like, come on, man, come on, make up your mind. Oh, so I love how extreme things get, because now it's like it's so far to the extreme where things are starting to contradict. Mm-hmm. So you know how they're saying like a man could be a woman? Yeah. And they're saying that now a man can give birth. Mm-hmm. So then the argument is like, well, no man should have any say in abortion. I'm like, but men can be women too. I was like, so no, they can say whatever they want. Mm-hmm. It's funny because we're me and the kids, we watch a lot of wrestling, right? And so there was a wrestler, right, who he got attacked by somebody, and like he turned around and he was gonna deck him, but it was a woman. And so my middle child, he was like, yo, if a woman ever puts her hands on me, I'm gonna defend myself, but I'm gonna be screaming the whole time, I identify as a woman. I identify as a woman as I'm beating her ass. And I'm like, yeah, that's what you gotta do in this day and age. I was like, that's literally what you gotta do in this day and age.
Oh my God.
As he's beating her ass. Because you know what? I told my kids, if somebody puts hands on you, defend yourself. It doesn't matter who it is. If somebody's willing to disrespect you and put hands on you, you don't know how far they're gonna go with that. And there's been times where men are like, oh, honor code, I'm not going to hit you back. And they die for it. Because this bitch goes and grabs a knife and starts stabbing. She crazy. Yo, somebody's crazy enough to put hands on you, defend yourself. It's self-defense. But if you're a man, I identify as a woman. They're going to cut you off. Yeah, I know.
Actually, we're at that 1 minute mark, so I'm going to restart Zoom.
Yeah. So, and then another thing I told my kids, I was like, yo, you could get that on your license. You could just change.
All right, bear with us. We'll be back at it in just a moment.
And
we're back.
I got joints. They cut me off. They didn't
no, you know what? I was thinking about it with like the whole Roe v. Wade conversation and abortion. Like, I think men should have a say if they don't want the child.
Yes.
But like I think
what about when they do want the child?
If a man wants the child and the woman doesn't want the child, then trust the woman. Because ultimately, like, men out here are not stepping up and raising these children. Like, that's always going to be my argument. That's always going to be my argument.
All I can say is I don't want to hear shit about pro-choice or my body, my choice when you still got a freaking draft out here that is one-sided. It's only for men, and men get drafted for these stupid-ass wars and get killed notoriously for these wars. Where's my body, my choice? Where am I? If I say, nah, I'm not going to go fight this war, I get arrested. I get put in jail. Get the fuck, man, get out of here. I don't see y'all protesting for that.
There's a lot of things that are one-sided.
Yeah,
like,
shut up.
If you look at, like, ads on TV, like, you're always seeing ads about men and their erections, and oh my God, if a man can't get it up, it's, like, a horrible thing. Like, we program our men in our society to think that, like, oh, it's all about sex. You have to be able to have sex to be a man. It, like, defines you. But then when men, you know, go and they get women pregnant, it's like, oh, there's no accountability. Then it's all on the woman. Like, oh, why didn't the woman protect herself? Like, when have you ever seen an ad for birth control?
Do you know?
Those are going down.
Is it first off? Let me ask you this: name me other than getting a vasectomy. Name me another form of birth control for men.
But what I'm saying, condoms. Hello.
Yeah, but where's the pills? Do you know how many men will be religiously on pills? Like, yo, there would never be an
why aren't men religiously using condoms? If it's about options, men have an option. And if it's women, you know,
listen, that's a great question. But the guys I know,
need to be had if the man comes in with a condom.
Yes, and you're right. But the guys I know, they're like they're bagging it and they're taking that condom with them when they leave. There are guys that I know who do that. They're like, yo, I'm taking this because I don't want no oopsie in my life. Like, they're doing that. so yeah, you're right. There are guys, look, listen, it takes two to tango, and the oops is on both ends. But the fact of the matter is, the oops is on both ends, and only one gets to decide. And, like, if the man's ready to step up, and he's like, well, you know what? The conditions that we met wasn't really ideal, but I kind of want to be a dad. I have the means to take care of this kid. Once you birth him, you could disappear. That's cool. But no, he doesn't get that opportunity. And men never had that. So why do women get to play God? That was my only thing. Why do women get to play God?
But you know what? Women aren't playing God. And what you're saying, it doesn't make any sense because now men are trying to have kids. And that's playing God. A man shouldn't be able to give birth.
Oh, it's still a woman. It's a woman that transitioned to a man, right? Biologically still a woman, but then they're like, here's a man having a kid. So once again, you're blurring the lines. So what argument? Like, I don't understand it. Where do you stand? First you have a Supreme Court justice that can't give a definition of a woman, but then you're all like, oh my God, a woman should be able to decide. Who's a woman then? All society is a woman. Plus, I love the way that people say, hey, it takes a village to raise a child, but if the village says don't get pregnant, oh my God, village, mind your business. It's my body, my choice. Come on. You got double standards. Women got too much double standards. Just hold people accountable. It's like you play with the sauce, you're gonna get pregnant. All right, so let's read some of the comments. Ray, did you like Dr. WandaVerse Part 2? Yes, I actually enjoyed it. I know people are loving or hating it. I wouldn't say I love.
That's Doctor Strange.
He was playing with the words because that's the people who don't like it because it focused too much on Wanda.
Okay.
And spoiler alerts. Yeah, it focused a lot on Wanda.
Like the comedian Wanda.
No, not Wanda Sykes.
Oh, okay.
The Scarlet Witch.
I haven't seen it. I have asked this question.
Yo, I just got into my head though of Wanda Sykes like flying in, like she has the power of the Scarlet Witch.
I was like, yo, is she in the movie?
And is she making them jokes? Dr. Strange, you ain't nothing. I just got that whole image in my head. That's hilarious. No, I liked it because the director, Sam Raimi, he directed the first Spider-Man trilogy, like before back in the day, the one for like the early 2000s. And then he also directed another like horror trilogy that I liked, which was The Evil Dead. So it kind of had some of those elements in the movie. So I was kind of like, cool, that's cool. He got to do his thing in the Marvel-verse. But I understand why some people didn't like it because, it's Doctor Strange. and it was really, focused more on Wanda. So I get that. I get it. Oh, yeah, Fuzz, you're right. Mask Nazis. So all these people, during the last 2 years were like, you got to wear your mask. You got to take the vax. You got to do it. Laughing at people losing their jobs, right? Mm-hmm. Right? And yet, these are the same people who want to go on, be a hypocrite and be like, my body, my choice. Like, come on. You can't. Oh, but it's for the good betterment of others. Okay, so then it's a betterment for that child. It's like, I can twist all your arguments any way you want. It's just don't be a hypocrite. And that's what a lot of people are out here are being a hypocrite. It's like when they were announcing that they were going to change the draft so that women can get drafted. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, that's when all the feminists was like, oh no, I'm a traditional woman. This is bullshit. I should be at home cooking while you're fighting the wars. I don't know why my women sound like Mickey Mouse. That was kind of weird. It just makes me laugh at this point. The hypocrisy out here, man. Because I'm trying to call people out, and like you're trying to spit logic, right? You're trying to be logical. Wait a minute. Wait, what? Trying to spit the logic, but it's just gonna go over people's heads. So you know what? The best way to fight all of this is the memes that are going around, and I love the memes. Like a lot of stuff I've been saying is from the memes. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. That's logical. And the way you put it in a little cartoon, it makes all the sense now.
It brings it all together for you, the visual.
It brings it all together. It's like, yes, that's how you fight these arguments. Because that's how ridiculous they're being. And I mean, it's getting to the point where you got these protesters out here, right? You got Sleepy Joe over here on stage saying that the worst thing in society right now is the ultra MAGA, right? Ultra MAGA. Which, the last thing I checked, they only did one thing. That was January 6th. We had BLM prior to that making billions of dollars worth of damage, right? Protesting, burning down cities and shit. And now you got, feminists going to these judges, going to their homes, threatening their families, right? Attacking their homes. I'm like, come on. To me, the most extreme is the left right now. But nobody's going to call that out, right? Watch. We're gonna get cut right now on YouTube, a left platform. Oh, geez, we're gonna get cut.
The comments are coming in, Ray.
All right, let's go. Sounds like for Ray, it's a power issue, not so much a health or a social economic issue. All right, I mean, we could talk about the health issues. You present that to me, and I will look at it in a logical way. What I'm presenting right now is the hypocrisy of it all. So if you want to call it a power trip, that's fine. But think about how men do not have reproductive rights. We never had reproductive rights. Men do not have that.
What do you mean? Nobody's protesting against men getting vasectomies. Where's that movement? Oh, pro-choice.
What about when
body,
men
choice.
What about when men want to have a baby, right? Or regardless, or whatever. All I'm saying is men do not have this, right? Mm-hmm. You want to go and stand by my body, my choice. I heard it for the last 2 years, right? Oh, it's not your body; it's a community thing, right? Wear your mask. Get the vax, which I'm still glad I didn't get my vax because look at all the information that's coming out. Yeah. Johnson & Johnson just got pulled because it's causing blood clots, right? Pfizer just dumped this full report coincidentally right when the leak came out about Roe versus Wade, right? So they just dropped the report about all these side effects and all this stuff that's coming from the vax and how much they tested. It's turning out that the Pfizer one is only like 10% effective. And that's what you plug it into your body? But people are doing this, right? And they're all saying, oh, my body, my choice when it comes to abortion, but not your body, your choice when it comes to the vax or Kofifi or wearing masks. It's like the hypocrisy of it all. It's like, I honestly, mostly when I don't have an issue with abortion. I do it in a timely manner. I think we agreed 12 weeks, right? Yeah. And be tasteful about it. Yeah. Be tasteful about it. Don't be out here, there used to be a stigma back in the day where it wasn't, I don't want to say like you should be shamed. I'm not saying that either. But people had like a sense of pain back in the day when they had an abortion. Today it's celebrated. Like I saw something on one, like you see on Twitter, right? all the memes. And then I saw something where somebody had like the little fetus, and they were like, I wonder if I take it and throw it at the wall, if it'll stick, like one of those sticky toys. And I'm like, really? That's poor taste. That is poor taste. It's like, if you do that, keep that to yourself. And that's mostly most of my arguments. It's like, look, listen, whatever you do in your bedroom, whatever you do in your life, keep it to yourself. But a lot of people want to tout it. A lot of people want to put it out there. If anything, I feel like it's more power on the other end than the other people who are just saying, hey, just be decent about it. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm asking. And abortion shouldn't be a form of birth control. It should be what it used to be, the last resort. Right? It was, hey, this is the last resort. Like you saw with your roommate, where she had, 3 abortions, and she was just taking it like, oh, yeah, that's her birth control. I don't want to take a pill. I'm going to just go get an abortion. Yeah. Like, come on. Crazy. It should be the last resort. Fuzz said gas prices in the Crooklyn hood is $5. That's crazy. Yeah, I heard in some parts it's $7.
Really?
$7.
Mm-hmm. I was talking to a friend out in, where's Vegas at? Nevada?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's out in Nevada, and theirs are touching $5. I was like, well, same here. Yeah. Where everywhere I go, it's like $4.50 to $4.70.
I filled up my truck the other day, and what was it like? I want to say not last summer. Maybe last summer. It would cost me like $40, and now recently it was $75. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's crazy. That's the most I've ever paid for gas.
I mean, like when I was out in Cali last month, it was over $6.
Yeah, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. So like you got the economy tanking, right? Yeah. You got stock markets tanking. You got crypto tanking. You got tomorrow we're supposed to get the new inflation numbers. I don't know if it's going to go up or down. Mm-hmm. I mean, ideally it's supposed to go down because the Feds, just raised interest rates, right? But who knows? I don't think anybody knows what's going on right now. It's like we right now we are just a ship going into the storm, and there's nobody driving that ship. Mm. And the guy who was driving it, everybody was like, "Oh, he says mean things." I don't know. Maybe that's what we need. Maybe we need somebody to say things mean and get things back in order. Because a lot of people are too sensitive, man. People are too worried about their fifis. And it's funny going back to the whole abortion thing. It's like they're just saying it federally. They're not going to mandate it anymore. They're going to put it back on the states. Right. So everybody's blowing it up. It's like, look, if you live in New York, you're still going to get it. Mm-hmm. New York, Cali, all these other states. It's just like a couple of states that they keep bringing it up to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is like, why are we dealing with this? Yeah. We should be dealing with other issues. So I don't know. To me, it's just funny watching both sides go at it because there's the extremes on the right. And I'm hoping that I'm not coming out sounding that way because that's not my intentions. I feel like getting back to healing and mending society, we got to kind of have a sense of tact in who we are. Like we got to be stoic as human beings. We got to, go above what we can do now. If that makes any sense. Like, I feel like, yes, you can have these crazy abortions. Yes, you can have as many as you want. But is that you being the best you can be? Right. Like, are you being tactful? Are you being, you have to have standards. Right. Yeah. Some kind of standards, and just carry that. It's the whole thing with like this whole sex culture that's going on right now for both men and women. Mm-hmm. People are just people are just worried about their notch count. And it's like, but what's that? What does that provide? That's like you're substituting chasing after the materialistic things with child chasing after and playing with love, right? Mm-hmm. And to me, like, look, I got that male instinct. Don't get me wrong. I'll think about it. I'm like, man, it would be pimp if I had a high notch count. But then I'm like, yo, the kind of person I got to be to manipulate women and just play with their emotions, play with love like that. To me, that's just bad karma. And I've seen it. I've seen it with people who are like that. They end up feeling empty. They end up getting sick. Right? Because it's still negative energy. Yeah. It's negative energy. You're playing with people. You're lying to people. You're playing with them. You're playing with emotions. It's like, I don't know.
That's a good point. Like you bring up that, like karma does come back because it sure does. It sure does. The kind of energy that you're putting out there and you're, giving to the world, that's exactly what you end up having around you. That's what you attract more of.
Right. Right. And so what I'm worried about, and look, it doesn't really matter. It really doesn't affect me. It did affect me in the past, but right now I'm not looking for kids, right? I'm not out there. I'm not doing that. So it really doesn't affect me. So what I say really doesn't freaking matter. But what I'm thinking about is that young girl out there who is being told, oh, be out there, be in the streets, be proud that you're sexual, right? You can do anything a man can. And so she's out there, she's having multiple abortions. She's just living her life. She's partying, she's doing whatever she wants to do, right? Fast forward, she just meets a guy. She finally, maybe she wants to step it up. And then she goes and she tries to have a kid and she can't because of what she did previously. That karma caught up to her.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. It's like, why did you have to be about that lifestyle with no decency, Like you said, have standards.
Yeah. Standards, self-respect.
Yeah, and that goes on both ends. There's so many
things that we're not seeing in the younger generations. There's nobody that's cultivating that. Because when you do look at society and you look at, what we glorify, like the kind of people that have all the followers on social media and the kind of people whose music is blowing up and they're making millions of dollars, like the message that they're putting out there isn't one of growth. It's not one of, hey, where's our society going in the future?
Yeah, right. So imagine having somebody who has all that Instagram and all of that, but then somebody decent comes into their life who's actually, what you were saying earlier, just fits, it checks off all the boxes. It's just like they're, ideal soulmate, right? But they let that person go because they can't let go of IG and the fame and the check boxes and all the stuff that, all the comments and all that stuff. Like, they chase that and they want that, but that leaves them, what was that? That's going to leave you empty at the end. Right? It's like, those are the things, like, we got to call attention to a lot of those stuff. It's like, look, where are our values at? Where's our values at? Where are we heading as a society?
Yeah.
Like, we put so much stock in value.
The key is always the key of the future is always like in our children, it's in our youth. And I think that, education is something that we don't worry enough about. Like, I feel like the way our education system is, it has not been changed. It's a dinosaur. It's just, we're just continuing to repeat history over and over and over again.
Yes.
And we're not making that change.
But you know what? It's two different worlds, and that's what people got to realize. And Fuzz said it. It's weapons of mass distraction. All this is just mass distraction so that you don't see what the elites are doing. Because the elites, they beat by a different drum. The elites, they beat by a different drum. And if you want to talk about power, that's the power. The fact that they fund all this stuff that society embraces, right? But yet their code is on a different level. So you got to take a look at that. You got to look at that. They still got their homes intact, right? They got generations passing down generational wealth down to the next generation, generations growing up in the business, right? It's like, you don't see that and they wonder why the poor stays poorer. It's because we don't have a foundation. We need to start building that foundation. And then where does that foundation start? It starts at home, right? Right? They have strong homes. Look at how the elites, they stay together. What's one of the things, if you guys really truly believe that being single or being the way you are and all that stuff, then think about somebody who's running for president. They say a bachelor can't run for president. He has to have what? He has to have a wife. He has to have the wife on the side. He's not going to be a good candidate, right? And then what do? They go and they look at your background. They see all the stuff that you've done in the past, right? So don't go telling me that your past doesn't matter, because it does. There is an image you got to uphold, right? If you want to be a president, right? Look at all the stuff they tried throwing. Oh, Trump did this. Trump did that. Oh, Trump, right? And they used it all against him, all his past. So here's a rich billionaire where they're trying to use his past. And so you want to tell me, oh, the past doesn't matter. It does. It does.
It sure does.
All right. So Fuzz said one side is fighting the other side while the elites are making everyone broke. Yeah. That's really what's going on right now. It really is. And they keep throwing these like crazy distractions, and it's timing. Like, if you looked at like when they were going through the whole Epstein Island trial, right? Look at all the stuff they kept throwing out, all the distractions they kept throwing out, so no people wouldn't focus on that court, that whole case, right? When she was going through, and Elon even called it out. He was like, "Yo, I want to see the flight list." Not the flight list, but he said, "I want to see the client list." Like, who were the clients? Because they knew who the clients were, but they were some big names, and they didn't want those names to leak, right? So it's the same concept. It's like they keep distracting with these like, headlines. Oh, hey, look, so everybody can feel a certain way and be like, oh, I'm gonna go on. And it's like, look, at some point, I get it. It's our First Amendment to protest. I get it. It's our First Amendment, freedom of speech. Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, I get it. But also, like, we have to come together. Like, I feel it. I feel the rumblings of a new civil war is coming. If it hasn't already. And if you think about like previous wars, like you got to think about the advancement of wars, right? Right now we're doing what? Cyber warfare, right? That's where all the propaganda comes out, right? Social media is used and all this stuff. Like, I feel like that's what's going on right now. And when you see on Twitter and when you see all these sites and you see people just going back and forth and so toxic, such negative energy, I do feel like we're in the midst of a civil war. And why did it get like that? Because there's a two-party system that was built like that by design. So you have two people fighting, good versus evil, right? Face and the heel if you're a wrestling fan, right? So it's like, oh, so they keep flipping it on you, right? It's all scripted. It keeps flipping on you. So the Dems are the face and all the heels, the Republicans. And then you flip it. Oh, no, now there's... It's like it's all an act. It's all a show.
I mean, it's even bigger than that, like that's one like basis that it was like built on. But the fact is that we have multiple generations now that are very egotistical. We're so damn worried about me. And so now we're seeing all the issues, we're being divided based on feelings because everyone's so worried about themselves.
Yeah, exactly. People's feelings are getting hurt. Exactly. The fifis, right. The fifis. And it's like at some point we got to just say, hey, look, life doesn't really give a crap about your feelings, It's like life is
there is
vicious.
going to be pain. There is going to be pain. Your feelings are going to get hurt. Shit is going to suck.
Yeah, you got to embrace the suck. That's what I was telling you earlier.
Like the basic like Buddhist principle that like all like suffering. Oh, shit, I have to remember it so I can share with you guys. It's basically like suffering. The root of suffering is desire, and like once you learn how to let go of those desires, is when you start living for a higher purpose. Once you stop worrying about, oh my God, me, what I want, then you can start living for the greater good. Then you can be part of the community and make your decisions, that are gonna, better your community.
Right. And that's what I feel like. A lot of people are just too selfish. That goes back to dating. That goes back to politics. That goes back to anything you want to throw out there. The root of all of it is just people are selfish. People are very selfish. And it's sad because you see like these movements and you're thinking like, oh man, these movements, hey, that's a community coming together. And then when you break it down, they're just out there because they want the attention. So once again, that's a selfish cause.
It's just another reason to, divide us.
Yes,
it's another
there's a lot of division
reason to divide.
Yeah, there's a lot of division going on, and it's sad because once again, like I said, I'm a kid of the 90s, and I didn't see that division out there. In the 90s, it was just like it really felt like the world was coming, like politics wasn't center stage. Maybe because I was a kid, I wasn't really focused on politics then. But politics now is like everywhere. You hear the jabs in movies, you hear the jabs in cartoons. It's like, really? Like I want to get away in my entertainment, and you're feeding me politics. Like, come on! It's like almost like politics in itself is now a new form of entertainment.
Fuzz, I've realized that too. So Fuzz says in his hood he sees more Ukraine flags than USA flags.
Yes, and that's the scary part because the more you dig into the Ukraine and their government, like they're a bunch of Nazis. So I'm seeing like Nazi flags everywhere. That blue and yellow flag to me represents a Nazi flag, and I see it everywhere. And I go down, I told you that, there's a block that I'll walk, and I'll see 7 of them and 1 American flag.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's scary. If you wonder how so many people could follow Hitler when Hitler was doing atrocious things, look outside of the window. If you see that Ukraine flag, you know it. When you see the people saying, trust the science, wear your mask, bro, that's dumb right there. Those are the people that would have followed Hitler. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying it. And the ones who are like outspoken, me and you, we would have got killed right there with the Jews. It would have been the thing. It would have been the thing because it's like, look, you gotta conform. It's all about conforming. It's all about complying, and it's all about believing the propaganda. And that's what's going on right now. So that's another reason why I truly believe that we're in the midst of a civil war. Mm-hmm. It's a cyber civil war. It's not like, hey, we're fighting, each other, on the battlegrounds, but we're still fighting. We're fighting for society right now. And unfortunately, one side is heavily got everything, and that one side is winning right now. Mm-hmm. Except for the memes. I love the memes.
You're going to make a time capsule and just put a bunch of memes in there. They'll understand in the future. This is all they need.
I wish if, you ever heard of that hacking group, Anonymous? And they were like, oh, Anonymous did this and Anonymous did that. I still think that's state sponsored, but if they were really out there, I wish that they would go and hack I don't know, CNN, and they're broadcasting and just shoot up a bunch of memes. I would be like, yo, they just did this. That's awesome. Don't you know food is free in the multiverse? Well, some multiverse. You gotta always pay Papa Pizza, bro. You always gotta pay Papa Pizza. Lynn's like, what? That movie was good. I actually saw it twice because Fuzz was like, yo, there's a bootleg copy out there. So after we did the Thursday show, I was like, man, I'm kind of tempted. So I watched it. Mm-hmm. And then the next day, I was trying to convince the kids. I was like, we could just stay here, order a pizza, and you guys could just watch it here. It's a decent copy. And they're like, no, we want to watch it in the movie theaters.
We watched Sonic 2 on the app.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. For Mother's Day, we had a movie morning.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I tried putting it on my iPad, and I can't get it on my iPad, so I had to just access the site online. So we weren't able to watch Bad Guys. You actually need an app for that one, but whatever. I still can't connect my phone to my TV. It's
well, there's an app you can get. It's a little it does an extra work because of the way the iPhones are. Mm-hmm. So there's an app that you can get, which then you find the website and you kind of put that on that. That's what I did at your house. So I had that app. It was a different name. It was something player, but then you have the access to the website, and then whatever you pick, that the player plays it for you. That explained it. Mm-hmm. By the way, what we're talking about is MovieBox. MovieBox is dope. So I signed up for MovieBox Pro. I got the family account, and I shared it with Lynn, and so we're trying to make things work. So if you're ever looking for how to get content on the high seas, I'm not saying nothing. Oh man, there's so many reasons why I'm gonna get canceled.
So I didn't get your whole pizza shop, whatever. But I do know the song from Roblox that's don't call me a noob. And then that one, he's like, I put a lot of money into pizza shops. And I was like, well, maybe it's an in-game currency. I don't understand. I'm still trying to
No. It was a part of, it was a scene in the movie, Doctor Strange Part 2.
Okay.
So, that's what we're talking about. Oh, yeah, Sonic, the wedding scene. Yeah, that scene, not only was it cringe, it was just unnecessary. It was just so unnecessary. It was I feel like if I ever was to watch that movie again, as soon as that scene comes, I'm just going to fast forward to the part where Sonic wakes up. And it's oh, what happened? No, absolutely nothing, Sonic. Keep fighting. Absolutely nothing. Keep fighting, Sonic. Because it was so unnecessary. But I think that scene that it had to be added in for the message, the message in movies these days. Doctor Strange had a little bit of that. It wasn't too much though. I could tolerate it. At this point, it's everything's gonna have it. It's let me just tolerate as much as I can. That's why The Northman is a dope ass movie because it doesn't have any of the message in there. Well, I mean, I guess you could say that. It has a little bit of it. It does have a little bit of it. But it's a really good movie. You should watch that, The Northman.
Yeah, You said the Northman and that everything always.
Everything, yeah. It's Fuzz. Fuzz is gonna have to give you the title for that one. I don't know. It's everything, everywhere, everybody. I don't know. It was great. That movie was dope. I would watch that one first though. Like that right there. Like you got to see that movie like ASAP. Because you're gonna be like, what the hell is this movie? And then like,
wait. I'm running these ones down.
Yeah, and then like an hour into it, you're gonna be like, all right, I'm here, I'm ready, let's go. Let's keep going.
It's funny, I saw I was walking in the mall with the kids, and I saw the poster for it. I was like, oh, that's
yeah, it's all eyeballs, and the kids were like, what's up with all the eyeballs?
I was like, it doesn't even give me an idea of what the movie's
about. Nope. Don't watch no trailer. Just go in and just watch that movie. That movie is just epic. It's like epic. I totally want to go see it again. It's like it's just awesome. You're like, what the? It's just a great movie. Yeah, everything, everywhere, all at once. Oh, the video on demand releases this Friday, so you know Movie Box is gonna have that. Okay. That's a win. That's a win. Oh, that movie's awesome. Which sucked because I was wanting to see it and I saw reviews were starting to come out, but the way AMC released it, it was like one of those artisan film release. Mm-hmm. So only certain movie theaters were showing it. Okay. So I saw movie theaters in the city was showing it, but none of the ones by us was showing it. So I was like, what the hell? I'm not going to the city for that. Yeah, but when I finally got to see it, I was like, oh man, this is great. That's what, to me, that movie was more into the multiverse than Spider-Man was, or Doctor Strange, or, well, no, because the Spider-Man into the multiverse, the cartoon Spider-Man, that was actually pretty good. The way they handled multiverse in that one, that was pretty good. But this movie was just great. It's just great. To think about just there, whatever your imagination could think, there's a world like that. It's hilarious. There's a world where we talk out of our butts and literally we sit on our heads and we gotta do handstands and stuff. There's a world like that. And we're all sitting in meetings and we're just all our butts are talking.
That's ridiculous.
There's a world
like
that.
I was talking to my son this morning at the bus stop, my little guy, and I was just like, Rico, I was like, tell me some of the things you do with your mouth. And he was like, I eat, I talk. I was like, yeah. I was like, you could blow kisses, show affection. I was like, so I was just telling him it's really important to take care of your teeth and your mouth. And I don't even know why I'm saying this, but I thought it was something to share. I started saying it, there was a point to it.
Piñata world? Yeah. Imagine a world where we're all just piñatas. And you're so worried, somebody's gonna come and beat you. Oh no, my candy. Can you imagine that, going to the doctors and you're like, all right, we're gonna operate you. We gotta change out your candy. Your candy went bad. I mean, Doctor Strange kind of had that. There was that one scene, and this is in the trailer, so it's not really a spoiler, where they're going through all of the universes, mm-hmm. and you kind of saw some things. There was one universe where it was all paint, they were just paint. And then she was like, yeah, imagine trying to eat in that world. I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of crazy. But it was just
to eat if you were just paint.
I don't know. Maybe your anatomy is all different. You don't have to eat. Yeah, there was a world where they were just paint, and then there was another world where they were cartoons, and so it was kind of they kind of showed, but it was really brief. And so that's what I wanted. That's one gripe I had to say when it comes to the new Doctor Strange is they really didn't tap into that whole multiverse concept. Mm-hmm. I'm curious. I want to see a multiverse, and I want to see what they're fighting about. And then they go to war because I don't know, people's eyes are different, and they keep debating on what the color of the sky is. Because that's all it is some people see the sky differently, right? Mm-hmm. You could see it, right? It's all perception. So they go to war, no, the sky's red, no, the sky's blue. Ah! It's funny. Would you want to do any of that kind of stuff? If somebody came up to you and was like, yo, we can travel the multiverse, would you want to travel the multiverse?
No,
you're
I
like
think
too
I'm
comfy.
perfectly content trying to figure shit out here in my universe. Like,
You're not curious?
Nope.
You're not curious about any of that?
Nope. It sounds stupid. I'm sorry, but the way like it's like being portrayed is like, well, like what's the point? Why would I care about other universes? Like,
Well, all right. So here's one concept. So one of the concepts from the movie was like, whatever disease you may get, there's a cure out there in another universe, right? Because there could be a universe that's like a lot more advanced.
okay.
They made better decisions than we did, and they're a lot more advanced. They got flying cars. They got all this stuff, right? So like you could go and you can find like, oh, okay, let's say, you know, you got something that's terminally ill. You go into another multiverse and boom, you get healed.
Yeah, but and then what? You know, like death is inevitable.
Yeah, it is inevitable. Yeah, you're right. You are right. Just being like curious. I would want to go.
And there is where the issues lie. Like,
Nope.
you know,
Curiosity killed the Ray.
The brainiacs in the world are so worried about, oh, what else is out there? Let's explore the multiverse. No, how about you fix the issues we have right here? Like, how about we work on our
Nobody
society?
wants to be fixed out here. Look. You want me to listen, here's the cure for what's going on in society today. Do the work. Stop being a bitch. Stop complaining. Kill your victim mentality. Do the work.
But
nobody wants to do that.
Fault.
So let's explore the universe. Let's explore the multiverse. Because nobody wants to fix it.
That we have, you know, people who are so damn worried about themselves and so, you know, let's put it lazy because like the people before us, the generations before us had to work really hard. And then they were like, oh, let me give my children everything that they need because I had to work so hard. I don't want my children to suffer. And all we're doing are raising a bunch of punks.
Yeah, exactly. So then you're not going to change society, so go explore the universe. Look, I'm all for like joining the Federation and being Star Trek and going in space. That's dope. I'm all for going through a time machine, going through a freaking multiverse machine. Hey, give me all that stuff. Because look, society sucks and it ain't changing. We could try to change it. We could keep trying to look. There's people, logical people out there. Look at it. Elon Musk, right? It seems like a cool dude. I would like to hang out with that dude. Right? He just came out. He's like, yo, I believe in freedom of speech. I want to buy Twitter. They're trying to cancel that guy. He's trying to do something. He's actually a pioneer, a productive person in society. And they already want to cancel that man because he went against their way of thinking. He's not a victim. Oh, my goodness. All right. Bye. I'm checking out on this now. Actually, one of the concepts in the movie was that when you dream at night, that's your vision into other universes. And actually, people do believe that. Like this is why I want to do shrooms. And I was actually looking at it. I found a supplier. I was like, should I do it? I don't know. But they say like when you take shrooms, you actually get in connection with like the universe. Right? Like that spiritual side, like you see the universe, right? You could get, you could be in contact with a demon or angels or whatever, right? Or other people do believe like you do kind of transcend, the barriers and see, multiverses.
They also say when you take shrooms, you end up puking. Like, no thank you. I don't want that experience.
No. I didn't puke when I did the shrooms. I didn't puke. I want to do shrooms again. I didn't puke. That was dope. You know what? When I did it, I felt like, I don't know, I was more connected with the planet. And now I feel like I'm like a radio.
Astrogliding. What does that have to do with this?
Signal. Astrogliding? What's that? Explain yourself, Fuzzy.
In my mind, that's freaking lubricant for like the porn
Yeah, that's
stars.
butt stuff.
So what the hell?
Are you doing butt stuff in that universe? Come on.
He wants to astroglide into another universe.
Why are you doing butt stuff, Fuzz? Come on. There was, you know what? In that movie, it made sense. They had to get, they needed the connection. So, no, I think it would be cool. I think it would be cool to just, I don't know, see more of the universe because it's.
Oh, shit. Cut off again. No talking about the multiverse for you.
Zoom is obnoxious. Zoom, you're obnoxious. You need to program your app better.
So Fun says astrogliding is when you're able to float above your body and visit remote places. So like out of body experiences.
Oh, okay. Like you see yourself in a third person. I heard about people doing that. Where like they see, like they're going through the motions, and they kind of like they just see themselves in third person. And that's what people say is like when
concept to me.
Well, but you know how like people do things like they'll go and they'll drink a lot or they'll get high or whatever, and then they'll black out. But yeah, they're still doing stuff, and then the next morning they're like, I don't remember anything that happened last night. I blacked out. Right? I've never done that, but technically, I think they're seeing things in like a third person view when that happens. I don't know. That's what I heard. I was like, that's kind of crazy. That's kind of trippy. That's kind of trippy. So you're like in a state of meditation and you're just kind of like, I'm out, my soul's out of my body and I'm just tripping. I'm just going away. So wouldn't that, I mean, if you did that, wouldn't that then like, wouldn't your body start to shut down? I think without your soul, your body
because they say like that, you know, there are people who are just empty vessels that, you know, don't have a soul.
Soulless, yeah. We asked that question. Yeah, I was like, do you think everybody has a soul? Or do you think there are actually some people out there who are, you know, they don't have that internal conversation and they're just meat puppets, you know? And that's why they're easily susceptible to whatever people say.
And like I was reading about a concept about like soul hopping, where like say like a body, you know, like the soul dies away, and then the new soul is able to like take over that body. Which now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh, that doesn't even make sense to me. But I was reading about this.
You know what that is? That sounds like possession to me. You know, like how you see in the movies when somebody gets possessed by a demon and they're saying and doing things that they wouldn't naturally do.
Right.
Wouldn't that be like soul hopping, where somebody's soul jumps into that body and is like, oh?
But basically, it was explaining, you know, like if there's like a healthy body and the universe, you know, doesn't intend for that body to go away, but it loses its soul, it'll replace it. Because like that you know body isn't finished yet.
Gotcha. So that's where because I you know, when I started asking the questions, I was like, yo, so does everybody have a soul? Maybe people don't have a soul. But that's where, you know, what people say is like they do have a soul. It's just they haven't really tapped into their soul. So they're just walking around like a mindless being, but they could find that. They can find their connection. And it's kind of like when they find that connection, it's like they get disconnected from the matrix, right? They kind of see like, whoa. Like they awaken. They're like, what's going on around here? Kind of deal. So I don't know. It's all dope questions though, because it's when you start asking these kind of questions, and you ask the ultimate question: is there an afterlife? Right? Is there much more than us just being here, being a bunch of meat bags, and then we die? Right?
Right.
And that's where those are the kind of questions, and that's the kind of things that I'm trying to tap into. Whereas I become more into spiritual, I'm not saying like spiritual, like, oh God, and you know, Jesus or whatever religion you might believe in. I'm talking more about like, the more I get connected with like earth and my soul, my energy around you, universe, right, the unknowns. It's like, those are the things where I start feeling things, right? I'm start sensing like, hey, you know what? There's a presence here. Is this presence evil? Is it has good intentions, bad intentions, right? And that's where I'm like, yo, that's where I feel like I'm ready to do that, like shrooms or ayahuasca trip, because I want to see that. Like people say, oh, I opened up my third eye and I can see the universe. I'm like, cool, let's see that. I want to see that. I'm ready for that. Are you ready for that, Lynn? Are you?
Nope.
You're not ready for that?
No, you know what? I think I am. I feel like I am, because I do pick up on.
I think you are too.
And like I definitely have like that sense of awareness.
Yeah.
I think it would be pretty kind of cool.
I think you're not only are you ready for it, I think you're longing for it because you still have the sense like I need to find my purpose. I need to find my calling. But you do have balance in your life because you have been tapping into that positive energy, right? Like, you know, hey, if I need to recharge, I'm going to meditate. I'm going to drink my tea. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to get one with nature. You know, you go on your trips because you want to get closer to the island, closer to water. Like, you know the balance. You know when you're in a negative state and when you got to go into a positive state. Like, I've seen the growth in you over the years, right?
Yeah.
But I think you need this eye awakening. Like, you need to, like, touch it, tap into that third eye, and be like, oh, shit, what the... And then be like, all right, this is my calling.
I'm getting a bunch of invites on Fortnite.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah? It's, like, popping up over here. I'm like, no, leave me alone. But the invites are coming from your household.
Oh, jeez. Is that why? Maybe that's why that we're having internet connections right now. I swear, when those kids jump on Fortnite, man, my internet soul comes to a crawl, man. I was like, what is Fortnite harvesting in the back? Every time they jump on.
Fuzz asked, what if we open ourselves to this energy, but the doors of evil are opened instead? And that's what I've heard. And like that's something to think about. Honestly,
I've heard about that too.
It's the same thing that we've been saying though, that, you know, like you focus on the good and the good grows. Like the energy that you're putting out there, that's what you're going to attract to you. So I think if you're in a state of awareness when you go into this, you're going to have a much better experience than somebody who's just in a very negative, very heavy, very 100% kind of state, and they attempt to do it.
Because the way I would go through it is like, even if that negative energy presents itself to me, I'm going to be like, look, I'm blessed. You can't touch me.
Right.
You can't mess with me. I know what you're trying to do. I see you coming. I'm going to do scoop and I'm going to keep going, right? That's going to be me. But once again, that's my mindset. Like, I'm ready for this. Like, I'm calling for it. Where people are not calling for it, that's why you hear like these people who take shrooms and they have a bad trip. And then some people take shrooms or acid or whatever, and they end up in a mental institute because of the things they saw, because they weren't ready for it. You get what I'm saying? And like I won't mess with acid because that's man-made. I'm gonna mess only with stuff that I feel a higher being, call it God if you want to call it that, put on this earth. Like we were talking about how how quickly life goes by. And yet when you smoke cannabis, time seems to slow down, right?
Yeah.
So for you to what? For you to embrace yourself, right? For you to embrace that moment. Be more present. Like I do believe that, a higher being felt that life was going to be challenging. And here are the things to A, make life easier, and B, be able to talk to me. And that's your cannabis and that's your shrooms. I truly believe that. And other things too. Like, I mean, if you look at like ayahuasca and iboga, both of those drugs are heavily used in ceremonies with, tribes all over the world. Yeah. Like I've seen it. Like there's ways you can get it from like, tribes over in like, out in like Arizona, Nevada, all the way down to the rainforest in Peru. Like there's like, even Africa. I've seen it in Africa too. It's like there's so many tribes and so many cultures that, this is part of their belief system, and they would do ceremonies. And I think we spoke about this before too, where, Fuzz has mentioned that there's a lot of satanic, ceremonies and rituals going on in movies. And I 100% agree. Doctor Strange 2 had a lot of that in there, right? But I also do believe that there's ceremonies you can do to elevate that positive energy and talk to that positive energy, if you want to call it angels or your guardian angels or, your ancestors that walk with you, right? Like, I do feel like there's a way to tap into that because there is a battle out there. There is negative energy. There's positive energy, and they're fighting for who's going to be supreme. So I believe all that. Yes, you could take something and tap into negative energy. Yes, I believe that. 100%. There are no biological shortcuts. Turning red was satanic. Yeah, it had those, but I don't find it as satanic. I feel like that was more of like they were talking into whereas like Doctor Strange was clear satanic, and I was like, yo, that's definitely, they got the bug, they're doing satanic rituals. Turning red, I felt was more of like in tune with nature and in tune with your ancestors. and it was like family coming together and doing those ceremonies. That's exactly what I'm talking about when you think about like tribes. Like back in the day when tribes would do that. And there's still tribes, on this planet that are still tapping into that. And they have a much more, I don't want to say easier life, but a more fundamental life where they are about community, right? They do these rituals. They do the passing of the torch, right? They embrace their elderlies, which we said a lot in the past. Embrace your elders, right? You learn from your elders. Like they embrace their elderly. They pass down that wisdom, right? They always have that, if you want to call it the hero's journey, where the men or the boys in the tribe, right, they go through that journey to become a man, right? They're like, hey, you gotta kill this bear. Bye. Either the bear's gonna kill you or you're gonna kill the bear. We'll see you back at base camp, right? And here comes this little kid. And, you're a man now. And then they celebrate, right? They celebrate through music. They celebrate through ceremony. And I believe there's something there. As much as we look at it, because we're so modern and we're into technology and we're so ahead of ourselves as human beings, I feel like we've disconnected from that. Like the more futuristic we become, and don't get me wrong, I'm a nerd, I love tech. The more futuristic we become, the less we are human. If that makes any sense. Because we're not connected to that spirituality that makes us human.
Yeah.
Because I think that's exactly what, if you think about what separates us from other animals, is that we do have a mind, right? And that mind is not just so that we can understand, formulas and be analytical and create technology and keep, evolving in that sense. No, it's also so that we can evolve as a spiritual creature. Whereas a lot of these tribes, they would do like, what would they would have ceremonies when they would kill an animal. Like we don't even do that. I don't know about you, but if I see like a squirrel trying to run, I'm like swerving and everything. Some people just run the damn thing over. They're psychopaths, man. I'm like, oh no, little guy, I hope you survive.
Yeah.
And if I was, and heaven forbid, if I was to hit that, I'm like, oh my God, I took life.
Right.
It kills me. It kills me. It's
yeah, it was
like
actually, I was driving on the highway. And I saw like the blood splatter, and like you just know, like like something big hit a deer. And just seeing that there, it gave me the heebie-jeebies. Like there was blood on the ground. And I thought about it. I was like, how many people are driving past this, and like they're just not even like fazed by it.
Yeah, exactly. They're desensitized by it.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because like you hear these people protesting about food and everything, but yet they go to the stores and they wonder how their food is made because that process has been broken. Like people they can actually sit and they can knock farmers or, ranchers and all these guys who actually put food on our table and they're knocking them down because the process is broken. They don't understand the work that goes into that.
Right.
You just walk into a grocery store and you just pick it up. Like, how desensitized are we?
It's that it goes back to that entitlement that we just feel like, oh, it has to be available for us. It's about me. Exactly. And so it's like, I don't know. Me personally, I really want to tap more into that spirituality that I feel like we've been missing all our lives. So I see personally, I've done a complete 180 because like, if you think about like 10, 15 years ago, I was just chasing money. I was chasing titles. I was trying to work for the next greatest, best consulting company, right? Trying to hit these life milestones. Oh, I want to make this by the time I'm 30. I want to do this while I'm 40. All that stuff. And now I'm like, all that stuff don't matter. Right.
It's like, I just want to find balance with who I am and tap into something higher and then just convey that message to everybody else. I don't know if that's my purpose or what, but that's how I feel now. So.
It's a new perspective, and it's something that, we both kind of took different paths, but we came out in the same place.
That's what I'm telling you.
Like here I am like this wonderful being, and I can feel the energy that's around me, and what else is there?
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think you're ready. You are, to me, just because, like you said, we're running parallel. Like, we didn't at some point we might have been, whatever. But right now we're running parallel. Our stories are different, but our lines are kind of the same. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if I think you need to tap into that higher energy, just like me. Get that ayahuasca in you. I was really, I've been looking at prices and I'm like, I'm really tempted to go and just like fly out to Peru, go with the crew into the rainforest with the tribal chief and just do the whole ceremony that way. Yeah.
That would be an intense experience, though.
It would, but
you know what? I haven't spoken to my girlfriend that she went down to Mexico and did the experience.
Yeah,
it was like a whole retreat. Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. It's just a calling that I'm like, I gotta go do that. I gotta go do that ceremony.
Oh, I forgot, but I have to reach out to her. Let me write that down right now.
Oh shit, we missed the reintroduction.
Oh, we sure did. We were worried about the technical issues.
Yeah, we were having a lot of technical issues today.
If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. I am Lynn.
I'm Ray.
Sibling rivalry. We're siblings. We don't even have like our intro down pat. Like we're just so unorganized.
We don't even have rivalries. I'm like, why we name that? I get it. It fits with the names, but it's also complicating because nobody can find us when we're like, this is how you spell it. Oh, geez, here. Okay. But we don't even like maybe one or two debates that we made like, but then after a while, we kind of see eye to eye. It's hilarious. So did you want to close out the show? It's funny, you reintroduced it, but I'm like, it's about time to close it out.
Yeah, let's close it out. I have to run.
All right, so
I'm trying to get my children's passports.
Oh, nice.
So I went and I booked flights, and I don't have my kids' passports yet. And geez, so now I'm like, looking at the time, I'm like, we're gonna make this. Are we not gonna make this?
You could always expedite it. It costs a lot of money to do that. I mean, when I did for my passport, it didn't take that long.
Right.
It didn't take that long. It was pretty quick.
My biggest issue has been finding an acceptance facility. I guess everybody's like hurting. You see it everywhere. Everyone's hiring. Everyone has staffing issues. So here locally, there's just nobody accepting them.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take a drive now. I heard through the grapevine that I could just show up at this one office, so off I go.
Oh. For what? For your photos?
No, so I have the photos done. I have all the paperwork done. I just have to turn it in. I just need an acceptance facility.
Oh, so why don't you just mail it?
You can't.
Yes, you can. I mailed mine. Well, I guess because I was renewing mine. So I had to mail it, and then I forgot to do something, and they mailed it back, and then I filled out whatever I had to fill out, and then I mailed it in.
But I'm getting passports for minors. It's not like my passport.
Yes. Oh yeah. So that's something a little different because you got to prove that you're the parent.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense. A lot of crazy.
Did you have to all the hula hoops?
Yeah. Oh, before we go, I got to show my socks for my little man.
Oh, so, what do you got? What's on your feet?
My youngest.
The heat on the feet.
My youngest got me some socks. The best way he knows how. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Mm-hmm. All right. And we got these socks when we were on our trip down in North Carolina. Right there was Gravedigger? The monster truck Gravedigger.
Okay.
That's where like his stomping grounds was. So like they had a diner for Gravedigger. They had the little shops, all the monster trucks, and then a monster truck came out too. I forgot what it was named, Sling King or something like that. Mm-hmm. And so we saw that and we were videotaping it, and he took off. It was so dope. But yeah, he got me some socks, and he was like, "Hey, for the show." So let me go ahead and let me see if we could see them.
What's going on the feet?
They look like Dalmatian.
Oh, they look like Dalmatians.
Yes, but if you could see right here, there's a little monster truck.
Oh, the monster truck. I see it.
And he's like a little Dalmatian dog.
Yep.
Monster truck. But I think these are for kids, so I'm going to go ahead and give these back to him. I think these are for you, because they kind of don't fit me. Mm-hmm. So hopefully I didn't stretch him out too much, bro. But I had to show the heat.
Let's be honest. Not every person is wonderful. And I believe, Tris, you're talking about, taking the ayahuasca and just like opening yourself up to, the energy that you're attracting. It could be, demons. You don't know what you're going to attract.
Yes.
And you're right. Not every person is wonderful. Not everyone is, not everybody should, take that journey.
Yes.
I think it's definitely something that you do have to think about before you do. I know, Ray, you put a lot of thought into it. Like for me, I'm just not drawn to it. It hasn't like appealed to me.
And so, and you're not, if you have that hesitation, then you're not ready, because you're right. You can draw to you negative energy.
Yeah.
Because you might be self-doubting. You might be thinking about bad situations, and you may not be ready for that. Or maybe that's the battle you have to fight. Maybe you do have to fight that negative energy and overcome it. And maybe that's, in that spiritual sense, that battle in your mind, maybe that's what you have to do. But Tris, I 100% agree with you. There are horrible people. And I think I came to that conclusion when I've been, me and Lynn, we talk a lot. We even, we talk off the air. And there's a lot of things we talk about. And, for the longest time, I was heavily, attacking women, because of just how women are out here. And then Lynn put it in perspective. She was like, look, people are horrible. Not just women. Men too. Everybody. There's evil people on the planet. And so when I say that now, it's like, you think about some of the arguments people make, and it's like, look, there's evil people everywhere. Right? There's evil people everywhere. And I think even Trump made that argument, and he got bashed for it, right? Because, whatever happened, that incident that happened in Carolina, car came through, right? And he was like, look, there's evil people everywhere. That's exactly what he was trying to say. There's evil people on both sides. There's evil people on all arguments. You just got to be able to see that and call that out. So when you see like certain arguments, even like going back to the whole my body, my choice, you got to think about some of the people that are championing that. It's just evil people.
Same person, different face.
Yep. Oh man, what's going on with my phone now?
We can't see you anymore.
Yeah, I know. Somebody decides to call me in the middle of the show. Oh, that's hilarious. Can you see me now? Am I back? Did I get canceled? That's hilarious. So yes, I totally agree. There are not, not everybody in this world is nice. And to be honest with you, most people are evil. Most people are evil because that's the way society is designed. It's a lot easier
to give in to those, negative thoughts, negative feelings, those, the evilness that lurks around than it is to fight it. It's hard to do the right thing all the time.
Yes, and actually to go with that, that's why I'm calling, and it's crazy because people are looking at me like, how can you even call this out? But I'm like, look at the means and the way people are doing things. That's evil. Yeah. BLM right now is evil. The fact that they're programming people to have a hatred towards white people, that's evil. That's that's not what MLK wanted. Right. That's not what Martin Luther King talked about. That wasn't his dream. His dream was that everybody in that classroom would come together. And that was happening in the 90s. I'm telling you, look at the cast and look at the shows in the 90s. Right? Look at the families and what the TV would portray back then, the movies would portray back then. People were all coming together. There wasn't this animosity towards each other. So that to me, there's a lot of you just gotta see it. You gotta be able to reflect and see those kind of things. That somebody who's coming with or has a message of good intention may just be doing it for attention. Yeah. They're motivated by a negative reason, So that's my rant.
All right. Well, thank you again, guys, for joining. Another great episode. Another one under the belt. Number 35.
Fuzz never did the Mother's Day show. So I'm curious if he wants to say what he wanted to do as a Mother's Day topic. We could do the belated Mother's Day show. How did your Mother's Day go, Lynn? By the way.
I had an awesome Mother's Day. My kids really stepped up. My daughter, really, my middle child, she really stepped up. She made dinner. She arranged for me to be picked up for an hour, so she got me out of the house, and then her and my youngest, like, they dragged our table outside in the backyard. Grandma came over, like, they did a wonderful thing for me, and it felt really good. It felt really special. And then after, you know, she made dinner and everything, which she made an awesome dinner. She chopped some veggies. She made mashed potatoes. She made salmon.
Okay.
She made those biscuits from Red Lobster. She had like the box, and like she made those biscuits.
I
like
love
she
those
went
biscuits.
in. And after all that, she cleaned up.
Oh, nice.
I was like, wow, thank you.
Then look at you, and you're like, look at you. See, you gotta acknowledge what you've done. Like you're almost like these kids, and look, you take a moment and look at your kids. You got good kids.
Yeah.
You know, they took a day to cater to you and say thank you. That's awesome. That's epic. That's cool. I'm actually shocked that your daughter did that, but that's cool. Kudos to her. Kudos to her.
Yep.
Kudos to her. That's good to hear. That is good to hear. So we're closing it on a good note. We're ending it on a good note. Always try to end on a good note.
Fuzz said Mother's Day show. Damn, I forgot.
Yeah, Fuzz, what happened? What happened to the Mother's Day show?
Well, Fuzz, you gotta produce, man. You gotta produce. We have to see your work so we can hire you as our producer.
It's hilarious. Alrighty, so we'll catch you guys on Thursday. Listen. Monday's already over. That's like the worst day of the week, right? Monday's over. Tuesday, tomorrow's hump day. That's halfway over, and then Thursday we'll come back to us, and we'll get you ready for the weekend. All right.
All right.
Love you guys. Take it easy, and